Do you swear that the testimony that you will give the Senate Budget Committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
If asked to do so, and if given reasonable notice, will you agree to appear before this committee in the future and answer any questions that the members of this committee might have?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Please be seated. Now it's appropriate for you to give your opening statement.
Thank you, Chairman Sanders, Ranking Member Graham, and members of the committee. I am humbled and honored to be here today as President Biden's nominee to serve as Director of the Office of Management and Budget. Chairman Sanders, I am grateful for your visionary leadership, and Ranking Member Graham, I look forward to working with you if I have the privilege of being confirmed. I want to begin by thanking Senators Booker and Klobuchar for their gracious introductions, and I also want to recognize two members of my family are here with me today, my husband Ben and my daughter Lena, as well as two who aren't, my son Jaden and my mother Maya. I owe my presence here today to their love and support and to the grit and resilience of my mother, an immigrant from India who was left to make it on her own in America with two young children after her divorce from my father. Back then, she faced a harsh choice: stay in the United States and rely on the social safety net, or return to India where she knew her children would face the stigma of divorce. She had faith in this country and made the decision, I believe the courageous decision, to stay. We relied on food stamps to eat and Section 8 vouchers to pay the rent. At school, I remember being the only kid in the cafeteria line who used 10-cent vouchers from the free and reduced lunch program. I remember using food stamps at the grocery store. Within just a few years, my mother found a job, and a few years later, she was earning a middle-class salary. Soon, she was able to buy a home and eventually see her children off to college and beyond. I spend every day of my life grateful for a nation and a government that had faith in my mother and in me, that invested in our humanity and gave me a fair shot to pursue our potential. As I sit before this committee, I'm mindful that my path in life would never have been possible without the budgetary choices that reflected our nation's values, many of them made in the very agency I am now nominated to lead. That recognition and gratitude has been the North Star of my career. I've spent the past 20 years at the forefront of some of our country's most important policy debates. And for the past decade, I've led a major think tank that engages many of the areas that OMB handles every day, from budget plans to regulatory proposals to efforts to make our government more effective. My experience also extends to both the legislative and executive branches, having served in the U.S. Senate, at the White House under President Clinton, and at an agency under President Obama. I believe that experience provides me with a strong foundation to lead the OMB. I also know that the role of OMB director is different from some of my past positions. Over the last few years, it's been part of my role to be an impassioned advocate. I know there have been some concerns about some of my past language in social media, and I regret that language. And I also want to say, I express that regret to Senator Sanders and other members of this committee. I understand that the role of OMB director calls for bipartisan action, as well as nonpartisan adherence to facts and evidence. OMB will play a vital role in addressing many of the country's biggest challenges, from beating back the virus to delivering aid that will help ensure a strong economic recovery to ensuring we build back better than before. If I am privileged to serve as director, I would ensure OMB uses every tool in its disposal to effectively deliver for America's working families, for small businesses, and to the many communities struggling right now. I would vigorously enforce my ironclad belief that our government should serve all Americans, regardless of party, in every corner of the country. I would ensure that our budget reflects the values of a nation built on hard work, human dignity, common purpose, and boundless possibility. And I would work in good faith with all members of this committee to tackle the challenges the grave challenges Americans are facing, the COVID pandemic, as I said, the deep economic pain in our country, climate change, racial inequality, and the broad issue of inequality in our country. Let me finally say this. As a child in line with my mom at that grocery store, feeling shy and a bit embarrassed as we stood in line and my mom was using food stamps instead of money, I never dreamed that I would be sitting in this august room with great leaders like all of you. I am so incredibly grateful for the opportunities this country has given me, and I am profoundly honored by the possibility to serve and to help ensure that we provide real opportunities for those who come after us. Thank you for inviting me before this committee, and I look forward to your questions.